want to put that up while we're waiting?
Thank you, Katie. I'm trying to get
Mhm.
everything set here, but we're doing our first forum in the 7 years of our existence. So we work with 50 different partners now in our short time and wanted to share what we learned. And so it should be a good time. And we're going to feed everyone.
Awesome. That sounds like something we will be part of. So thank you, Marwan.
Thank you, BHA, because you sponsored the Norm Dick Center for us.
That's awesome. All right. We're at 2:04. Okay, so I'm just going to start. I usually start with, let me just start with the agenda. So at the Kitsap Housing and Homeless Coalition, we provide leadership to end homelessness through planning, coordination among social service providers, advocacy, and education. Our vision is every person in our community has a safe, decent, stable, and appropriate home. And our values are the coalition strives to carry out our mission with respect, commitment, compassion, integrity, and a willingness to change. And I am Katie Sharp, and I am the Kitsap Housing and Homelessness Coalition Chair. And I can't do this alone. So, Bridget Glasspool is the current vice chair. Adina Emily is our secretary. And we also receive support on our executive team from Leif Wagner, Carl Borg, Eric Harold, Kitty Knutson, Madison Tuttle, and Ali Moyer. Our executive committee um, is currently figuring out nominations. We usually um, at least put out nominations to the membership for the executive committee named positions, which are only the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary. Um, we're just figuring out how we want to do that moving forward because we don't have a December meeting. This we don't usually have a December meeting because it lands around Christmas. So our next meeting will be in January. So I'll probably be sending a newsletter update with that information. Um, and our executive team is just a group of volunteers that want to add a little bit extra to this planning of these presentations, as well as other initiatives we're part of throughout the year. If you are interested, we meet at 9 a.m. on Zoom um, the first Wednesday of the month. It's just an email to us at admin@kitsapphhc.org, and we can get you added to that invite. Even if you're just interested in coming one time and we have an idea, we're really open to that as well. Um, so I just wanted a little summary today. So Puget Sound Energy, Maria Dozman is going to present first. Maria, are you here?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And I will say our next presenter, Yvonne, and she presented for us a few months ago from Olympic Community of Health. Her power is out from yesterday. So we are rescheduling her presentation about the new Olympic Connect program in January. But if you do have any questions, we will send out her contact information. And then Kitsap Transit presenters. Michelle, are your presenters here? We're gonna have to
They're
move you
not
up.
here quite yet. They'll probably be on around 3. So if somebody else could go in place of the second one, that would probably be helpful until they can.
Okay, what we can do is we can move the updates in between the presenters, and then we'll work through that. But let me know when they
Okay.
do join.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have updates from the county. Project Connect is happening, which is our resource fairs. So we'll have some updates around that. And if you all have something to share, we always have an opportunity for you to share with other service providers in this meeting. This meeting is also recorded by Gather Together, Grow Together, the Conduit, Marwa, and Cameron, and posted right away. So this is a recorded meeting, so it can be shared out. So if you have an update that the community should know about, please share that. But also, anytime during the month you have a flyer that you want to go out to service providers, maybe you don't have a mailing list, we'd love to share that for you. So please email us at admin@kitsapphhc.org if you have information to share with our membership. Okay, so Maria, you are up.
Okay, let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, can everyone see that okay?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for letting me present. My name is Maria Dozman. I'm an outreach manager for Puget Sound Energy. I am Kitsap based, and my role with Puget Sound Energy is to make sure our residential and small and medium business customers are connected to our programs to save money on their bills, and just to increase awareness. So many thanks for all of you for taking this information back to the groups and the community members that you support. I'm going to talk about some of our newest programs that might serve a lot of your customers. But before I go into that, I just wanted to say that we do have our website, psc.com, is offered in multiple languages. So if you are supporting those who for whom English is not their first language, hopefully you can connect them to this portion of our website in the language they're most comfortable in. I'm going to first talk about our newest assistance program. It's the Bill Discount Rate online application program. It launched last October, so October 1 of 2023. And as of about a month ago, only 18% of those who are eligible in Kitsap County have signed up. So towards the end of this presentation, I'm going to share with you where I am supporting in-person application workshops around the county. And I am always happy to come to your site and train your staff or even host a workshop at your location if you think it would help those for whom just applying online to these programs is a barrier. But as you can see, the discount rate program, these are the income thresholds. So it's based on number of persons in the household, and their monthly net income is what's shown here. So the combined monthly income of all adults 18 and over who are not in high school after taxes and deductions. That's how your family or community member would know whether or not they qualify for this program. And then one application actually helps them apply to 3 programs, and I'll go into that in a little greater detail. So the discount rate that they're applying for is a discount of between 5% up to 45% off monthly on their bill. And that's every month for a year until they re-self-certify. And we do not require, for the application process, we do not require proof of income. They just self-declare through the application process what their income is. They're also do not need to provide a social security number. It's asked for, but they can simply put in 4 zeros. We ask for the last 4 of their social, they can put in 4 zeros. And by completing this application, they are applying to automatically to 2 programs. I'll talk about the next program after this. And if they want to see if they just qualify without going into the application process online, they just go to psc.com/discount, answer 3 questions. The income tier I showed you was just for Kitsap County, but any PSE customer is eligible for this program. And the eligibility tables would be different if you're in Pierce County versus King County. So if you have a family member in another service area of our who might be eligible, have them just check and see. Don't let them be limited by what our income table is, because it would be different if you're in King County versus here. So this one application also, if they're eligible for the discount rate, they're also eligible for a HELP grant. And that grant is an amount of between $250 is the minimum up to $1,000. That's just put on their bill in the form of a grant, their utility bill, once per year. So if you know somebody who applied to these programs in July, they're eligible to reapply now. The program opens up every October 1st. We've made some really good changes to the online application. So if you or a client attempted this last year and it was just too confusing, I urge you to just try it again, because we've added a lot of feedback from our customers to make it a little bit more of an easier online application. And in other good news, we do offer it online in Spanish as well, the application. And you can also ask for a paper application to be emailed to you by contacting our customer care number. And I've put that on here as well. And so this is what our our three question widget looks like. You just put in the number of people in your household, your county, and then your monthly household income. Again, this amount is your net income after taxes are taken out. We launched a third aspect of this, and it's past due bill forgiveness. So if you're eligible for both PSC help and the bill discount rate, and you do have a past due amount on your bill that is at least $300 up to $2,500, you are eligible for a portion of that to be forgiven, but you have to agree to pay your monthly. You have to agree to pay your monthly bill and every month, and then a portion of that past due bill amount. It's a little bit of a complicated explain. I'm happy to answer any questions for you, although I may not have all the answers. We just launched this aspect of it on October 1st. And the maximum amount forgiven would be up to $2,500 per customer once every 2 years from the date of prior enrollment. And the payment amount would be agreed upon once your grants come in and your discount amount comes in that takes off from that bill. I'll show you what it would look like on your bill in a later slide. There are also other programs for you to be aware of. LIHEAP is one of them. The grant amount through LIHEAP has been increased to $1,250 per energy season, and energy season starts October 1st. This is a federally funded program. Kitsap Community Resources administers this. And it does, because it is federally funded, it does require an application process that's a little more intensive than what we have for our online process. But again, if you've got somebody with a past due amount over, and the $1,000 grant is not going to help them, but the $1,250 might. It might be worth it for your client to go into the LIHEAP section. And again, you would have to coordinate with Kitsap Community Resources for that. In addition to LIHEAP, there is the Warm Home Fund. PSC customers fund the Warm Home Fund. You've probably seen this on your utility bill. You're asked if you would like to donate an extra amount to the Warm Home Fund. That goes back to our customers in the form of a Warm Home Grant, and that's administered by the Salvation Army in Bremerton through their Energy Assistance Office. Here are the dates where I will be throughout the month of, well, for the remainder of this month into December. I can send this flyer to you, Katie, to post along with my other dates. So I'm trying my best to be in person. I know the library has been promoting my presence, as well as Kitsap Community Resources and Habitat for Humanity and St. Vincent de Paul. They all have flyers, as well as Paulsville Library, announcing that I will be there to their communities. And I sure would appreciate it if you would also do the same with your clients, because again, my goal, I would love to get to the end of this energy season, and even if we're up to 30% qualified if applied, I'll be happier than 18%. We would love it to be as high as possible. And this is just confirmed today with Kitsap Community Resources. I will be at all 3 locations on these dates, helping people apply to the program. It really takes about 2 to 3 minutes. All I need, if somebody comes to these locations, I do need their account number. I will be able to look up their account number, but it just goes a lot quicker if they bring their account number with them. And they just need to know, the names and the dates of birth of everybody in the home, because we do have to list everyone in the home. And I want to assure everybody that PSC does not share personal customer information with any other entity than Kitsap Community Resources. And the reason we do this is Kitsap Community Resources does process the PSE Help Grant, and 5% of all applications will be audited. So that means that Kitsap Community Resources will reach out to 5% of applicants per month and ask for further documentation of their income or proof of no income. But to finalize the processing of the grant. But just to show you real quickly, this is what it looks like on the bill. You'll see at the very top, that's where the help shows up. And when it was applied, and then towards the bottom in yellow, you'll see this particular customer got 15% off. So that equated to $13 off their bill every month. And this is a schedule of the past due bill forgiveness. This is what it looks like on the customer bill. So this customer has agreed to pay this amount, $78.59 every month, in addition to their current monthly bill. And then a portion of their overdue bill amount is forgiven as long as they stay on plan and don't miss any payments. I think no more than 2 payments are allowed to be missed. A couple of other programs just to be aware of. And I have these conversations when I do my workshops is, and this is another reason why I love it when customers show up with their bill and we can look at it and I find out there's 2 people in the home and their bill is $400 a month. I have these conversations. Well, are you aware of our weatherization assistance program? So this is also a federally funded program that addresses the exterior and insulation. Like, it's basically like, why is your bill so high, and what can the weatherization program do to help you become more comfortable in your home during the winter, during the cold months, and reduce your energy bill at that time. So if a customer is eligible for bill discount rate and they're eligible for PSE help, they are eligible for the weatherization assistance as well. So what does this look like? Contractors come out to the home, they test the home out, they find out where is the cold air coming in, and what can be done, what can be put in place for that home that can bring that customer's energy bill down. And these measures that can be implemented are done at no cost to the customer. Now, it's a federally funded program that PSC does help administer alongside Kitsap Community Resources, but it is a pretty big application process because the typical project could include increased insulation, a lot of sealing of heating ducts and insulating heating ducts and water pipes, and home repairs relating to weatherization. And then sometimes it does involve heating system upgrades or water heater upgrades and larger home repairs. This weatherization funding can go to a renter. The homeowner does have to approve participation in the program, and the renter's income is what's used to qualify. There is a bit of a wait. Sometimes the wait is because of high demand and sometimes also because of contractor workforce shortages, but it is definitely worth the wait. The last I'd heard, it's like a 6 to 9 month wait. But I always urge anybody who is qualified and interested just to start the process. I've never run into somebody who's had this done who regrets it. It really is, it's a savings, a huge savings. There's a lot of money involved and you don't have to pay anything. We do have also, for those who are just above the bill discount rate program, we do have extra rebates available. We call it efficiency boosts. They're pretty generous as well. I just put this up here just for awareness. I constantly present to community groups and people are like, I had no idea. So I love it when I get the opportunity to present to a group like yours and you can help me spread the word about these types of programs that are available to everybody, not just those who are low, but also moderate income folks. And these higher rebates are for apply to all sorts of measures related to saving money and becoming more energy efficient in your home. And sometimes this can mean a smart thermostat as low as $1 through a PSE marketplace. And then one newer program that we put out, you've probably seen a lot of emails from us about this, a lot of messaging from us about this, but it's another way for our customers to save money. It has nothing to do with your income. It's just, we're just asking our customers to help us mitigate some of the demand on the system through voluntary measures, and we will pay our customers for that effort. And there's a few different programs involved with this, and through flex events. So let's say we're expecting a cold snap to happen. We will notify our customers who are our flex customers of what we would like for them to do in order to save the burden on the grid. And we work with you and notify you in ways that you have indicated you would like to be notified. So if that's via email or via text, that's how we notify you. And the flex events occur, like I said, when energy demand is forecasted to peak. And so our customers are asked to voluntarily adjust their usage. And this could mean up to 15 events per season. We do try to avoid major holidays and weekends, and notifications for these events are typically sent the day before. And I'm not going to go into these in great detail, just showing these at a high level. There are a few of these available. And as you can see, reduced energy costs per kilowatt hour are the benefit, as well as a gift card, and an annual credit on your account. And again, there are different ways that you can participate. Some of these are voluntary, meaning you just decide, you find out there's a flex event and you don't run your dishwasher during that time or your washing machine during that time. Or if you have a smart thermostat and you want to enroll, then it's automatic whether you participate or not. And you just go, if you want more information on this, you can go to pse.com/flex and sign up. And here is my information, my contact information. If you would like me to come present to your group or present to any community groups that you're a part of, you think might benefit from this, I'm always willing to do that. And again, we'll go ahead and send my flyers to Katie if you wouldn't mind just sending those out for
Yep,
me.
for sure. And I can add the images so that they can be easily clicked on and downloaded. So,
All right. Any questions?
anybody have any questions in the chat?
There was one that was sent directly. If someone is about to move in somewhere and has not yet transferred service yet, can they apply ahead of time to see how much support they could get? You would need to transfer your service first, and then apply, because it is applied to that account that you have activated at the moment. And I will say that it does take a little bit of time. It's like 30 to 45 days for the discount to appear on the bill. And it can take, depending on the applications Kitsap Community Resources is processing, it could take 30 to 60 days for you to see that PSE grant show up on your bill. So that's why it's best for you to be in place in your new place.
When I look at all the different programs and the providers of the programs, where's the best? Is it just you who's like the best contact to understand kind of what programs are available in Kitsap County? Is there a website for all of these in one place? Like, what is the best? Because there's so many, and I didn't even know
There
about the
are
flex.
so
So
many.
many, yes.
And that's a great question. We have a free energy advisor service. I should have put that in there. It's the same number that I put up there for if you're requesting a paper application, and it's also on the bottom of your utility bill. So you can call that energy advisor and just explain what's going on. My bill's too high, or I feel like I need new insulation. What are your rebate? But I don't qualify for the low income weatherization. What kind of rebates are available? And the energy advisor can pull up your account and give you tailored information based on your account. They don't come to your home any longer because we have these advanced meters. It's a free service, and they can pull up your account and tell you what's going on.
That's awesome, and I did not know. I mean, that's a great service. Do you have a flyer for that or a website to learn more about the
I
energy
can
advisor?
Sure, I can drop the number in the
Yeah.
chat here, and then I can also put our website up there as well. our website is pretty dense. We have about 120 programs. So I understand that it can be a little tricky with all these programs out there. We're trying to get some, improve the customer journey a little bit so that, and you'll start seeing, I think, some more accessible information on these programs, hopefully into the next year and moving forward as well. But I'll go ahead and put the energy advisor number in the chat.
Thank you. And I think about that a lot. And I think all of us have so many programs that some people are eligible, some people are not eligible. And when I think about, we wish we all had some sort of energy or advisor that somebody could call first, because you don't have to know all the questions to get help. And I think we're all always looking for ways to do that. So thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you. And if I could just say, for all of you who are still without power, I think this was an extraordinary event. So many people are without power, and we have teams that are working now around the clock, really trying to get power back to everybody. I think Kitsap was not hit as hard as some of the other locations, but just know that there's a lot going on to get power restored as soon as possible for everyone. So thank you so much for your patience with all of this. And my apologies for those of you who are a little bit more uncomfortable because your hour it's an extended outage. But as you know, a lot of power lines down and a lot of trees impacting. So it's just making it a little bit tricky. But we do have linemen coming up from outside the area to help us with this restoration.
Thank you for that. This is a very timely presentation. Thank you for mentioning that. Jason mentions that KCR has rack cards with info on services, including energy assistance. But also, Kelsey had a question. Kelsey, you can jump on if you can.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. And I'm sorry if someone asked this already. I had to take a quick work call, but do any of the programs have like limited funding, like where like for the weatherization or things like that? Do they all have limited funding, or I was just kind of wondering, like, could funding run out for these programs?
So thanks for asking that. We do have the Warm Home Fund. We do ask that people like really, the funds do run out because we only have so much every year for that. And the other one that sometimes will not make it through the full energy season, the federally funded one, is the LIHEAP. So sometimes you'll hear from Community Resources that LIHEAP funding has ended for the season. So I always tell people just to get in line as soon as you can for those. But with respect to PSC help and bill discount rate, we do shut those programs down in August and September, so that we can, our agencies and Kitsap, it's Kitsap Community Resources, can catch up with the application demand and get ready for the next energy season. So while we will take applications during that time, it's just on pause, but that the help grants don't run out.
That's super helpful. Thank you.
And yes, we'll definitely share all the information through the newsletter. Maria, if you want to drop your contact information, it sounds like you're still a good person to reach out to if you have any questions.
Absolutely.
And those in-person sessions sound like really helpful too. So
I really appreciate you sharing those for me.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier in the meeting, we had a change to the schedule because our second presenter, her power is out of all things because of the event yesterday. So, Michelle, is your team here, or should we skip and then come back to you?
They're logging on now, but they're not quite ready.
That's
so
okay.
Probably just.
I'll just push the other things up. First of all, Carl, you're next.
Good afternoon, everybody. We do have great news. We are about 3 weeks away from the Pacific Building being open. Kitsap Rescue Mission will be moving all of their stuff in, and we should have temporary occupancy on the 15th. And then hopefully the 16th or 17th, we will have an open house where everybody can come in, take a look at the building, see what's going to really going to be like for the guests when they come in. And then the next day, the guests will be moved in, but they will be in the nice new building before Christmas. And Kitsap Rescue Mission has amazing plans for Christmas and everything that's going on, and especially having the family room is going to be a great help. We will be accepting up to 20 pets, which is one of the big reasons why a lot of people don't want to come in out of where they're in the tents and the encampments, is because they have a pet. So we will have up to 20 pets in there, and it's going to be a great asset for everyone in the community. So once we get the temporary occupancy permit, I will get that information out to Katie, and she can send an email blast out, and we'll make sure everybody can come in and take a look at the new building.
Does anybody have questions about the Pacific building? I have two other questions for you, but different topics. So anybody have questions for Carl about the Pacific building and the new shelter? You can always chat and contact Carl. I know he's up for that as well. My first question is severe weather shelters. Just reminding everyone and where they are at, Carl.
Yeah, I want to thank the severe weather shelters for opening up last night. We took a phone. There was a weather bulletin that came out. So we met and put out an email asking them to open up for the weather. And Poulsbo, Poulsbo is the only one that doesn't have a shelter this year. So Village Green up in Kingston has their severe weather shelter. Silverdale at the church right there on Silverdale Way is open. And then down in Port Orchard at the church where we have the Project Connect, that's where they open up also. And they did an amazing job. We had people come in last night. Port Orchard actually had a family come in who was in transit and spent the night. So it's a great asset to the community. And we want to thank the volunteers for coming out and doing that on such short notice.
And this will probably flow into just having a conversation about a little bit about a Project Connect update. But do you have a point in time count update? Will it be volunteers this year, or what are we expecting for the point in time count?
We're in the process right now of contacting the outreach teams. We're going to try to run it the same way we did last year, where the outreach teams that have been going out into the encampments and meeting people where they are, they've built that relationship. So we will have them going out. We do, hopefully we have a meeting with the Department of Commerce next Monday. And then Derek and Corey and I are meeting, and then we'll bring in, Derek is in the process now of contacting all of the outreach teams. And if you're interested, would like to help out, you can either let myself or Corey know, or send us an email, and we'll make sure we get you on that list.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Any questions for Carl? Eric, I see your hand.
Yeah, hi everybody. Sorry for being late, but Carl, I just want to say also just a shameless plug for Salvation Army. We also opened up during the severe weather, and we let people in whose behavior has been keeping them out. We let most of those people in. We do have a kind of a core group that never come in, but we do let in more than normal. And last night we had 90 people.
Thank you very much, Eric. That's how many were over what you usually have in?
We had about seven over what we would normally, 7 over 100% capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Eric. Keep doing up the great work.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think that's an important point too. When the severe weather shelters open, the notices go out. But in Bremerton, of course, we have the Salvation Army, and so that's always an important note to add.
Yeah, and the other thing is that G2G2 does transport people to and from the severe weather shelters, as well as Kitsap Transit. If they get on the bus and say they're going to a severe weather shelter, they can go and return for free on Kitsap Transit.
Is that a good segue to Michelle's team and Kitsap Transit's presentation?
Oh, well, that was perfect, wasn't it?
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Effie, and we have Annie here from Access and Travel Training as well.
Welcome. My name is Katie, and welcome to our Kitsap Housing and Homelessness Coalition. If this is your first time, so
It is. We're happy to be here. Annie is going to take it away. You want me to do the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Please? Okay.
Are we gonna do the travel training?
You go. You want to
Video.
do travel training?
The video.
Okay. Sorry, we're
So we're gonna start,
ripping.
we're gonna start with our travel training video to get people up to speed of what travel training is all about, and then I'll come back and talk a little bit about travel training.
Okay. If it don't get there, where do I find under here?
All right.
I appreciate that you're navigating your website to find it, though. That means we can all find it. That's awesome.
Yes.
Travel training.
I will go over the website too after Annie's, but it's under learn and then travel training. And let's see if it takes us there. There we go.
Here we go.
Let's see. I don't know how I can make it bigger. I like bigger.
I am a people person, so I love being out in the community. I love seeing people succeed. I strongly believe in the need for travel training because people want to get out. They want to know the community in which they live, but they want to learn that in a safe
If you can turn it
environment.
up a little bit, we can hear
Yeah,
it, but
Mariah.
it's not. At least from my perspective.
So, that's my application. My application was in.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
I felt like, at that time, I felt like, well, I couldn't do anything else, because I was in a wheelchair. And when I got here, it's like, oh, I see, yeah, I know, I can go catch this bus, you know? And then when they gave me the leg, the prosthetic, it was on there. I was ready to go. But I try to be independent as much as I can. I love that, because I don't like being still. I get tired out fast, but you know, I'm glad you guys have that way we could do that.
Well, Miss Charlotte, one of the things I was looking for was making sure her walker can go across the sidewalks, making sure there's not a lot of rays and dips and cracks. And we try to find out if there's safe areas for them to stand and wait on the bus. And just making sure that it's a safe path of travel is what we call it, a safe path of travel. Which I was saying, we're not looking for the quickest way, we're looking for the safest way. Because there be times where we'll go all the way to a transfer center and then come all the way back around and be on the right side of the street, just so the safety first. We deal with a multitude of different clients. We deal with clients that might have just fear of traveling on the bus. Some people who are just new to the area just want to know the basics. You might deal with someone who just wants to know how to use the bus versus someone that really needs the bus to get to their medical appointments, get in the community, or want to enjoy just Kitsap County. And we're the support. We want them to be able to, you know, be in charge when they're on those buses that, hey, I got this, I can do this. We want that confidence in them.
I wish more people would know about it. I've been trying to get people in here to go over there with me, so I'm always trying to go somewhere. You know? I love it because it does everything. It gives me freedom.
So that was our travel training video, our hurrah to get people motivated to travel training. We also have a little PowerPoint. It's only take about 5 minutes of your time. We're gonna go through to talk about what is travel training and some of the steps that we take in travel training. So Kitsap Transit offers travel training. It is a free service to the community. So it's no cost to the person that is learning to travel train. We go out to wherever the client wants to learn, and we talk to them about travel training. We want to find out if they are able to do it, if there's any disabilities or limitations or barriers to them traveling in the community. We want to make sure that the area that they're traveling is safe for them to travel. Is there bus stops? Is there sidewalks? You know, A lot of times people are asking themselves just these questions that are up there. Where do I take the bus? What time does the bus arrive? Will the driver let me know my stop if I ask? How do I get my mobility aid or my shopping cart on the bus? Will the driver assist me in securing my mobility aid? And what happens once I am on the bus? So when we go out there, those are the questions we want to answer for them. And like I said, it's a free service to them. So most people are excited about learning to travel train. And this is a list of the things that travel training includes. We help you plan your trip.
Going too fast, sorry.
That's okay. We'll slow it down a little bit. We help you plan your trip. We write specific routes. We help you to read, understand schedules and maps. We help you to get to and from the bus stops. We help you to recognize the buses that you're going to be taking to get to your destination. And we also teach landmarks, which a little bit in the slides you'll see that we have some picked out. We teach how to pay fares, how to properly board and deboard, especially when you're using mobility aids. Especially when you're using wheelchairs, where to connect, how they're connected. If you're not using any mobility aids, where to sit so you'll feel safe when you're riding the bus. We talk about safety tips while you're on the bus. Using the lift, like I said, using the lift to board with a mobility device, position your mobility device on the buses, proper street crossing, which is a big theme, and stranger awareness. So those are some of the things we teach when we come out. We talk about all of those issues or concerns because that's what we are hearing most from people about riding the city bus. So travel training takes the guesswork out of traveling on fixed routed buses. Before you even go out with the trainer scouts your route from starting point to your destination. The travel trainer teaches you how to look for landmarks while on the bus, and so you don't miss your stops as well. You're taught the routes you will need to get to your destination and the times you need to arrive at your bus location, as well as how to use KHHC Transit mobile app. That's a big thing we use now, is the mobile app, because there you can actually follow your route. So that's a big thing we've been teaching lately. You're introduced to the driver, the best person that can assist you while you're on the bus, and travel trainers teach safe practices while on the bus. We call it stranger danger. We want to make sure you know what to say and what not to say to people while you're on the bus. We go, all of these wonderful landmarks and pictures we're showing you are just things that we teach while we're on the bus, where the routed transfer stations are, what you're looking for when you're going to a bus stop, where's a safe place to wait at a bus stop. We teach landmarks so you'll know that when you're on a bus, you're going in the right direction. If you're supposed to be going to the mall and you're seeing Town and Country or Central Market in Paulsville, you're probably on the wrong bus. And so we want people to familiarize themselves with the areas that they're in so they'll know which direction they're supposed to be traveling. So that's a big thing that we do, is we search out landmarks, and we sort of test people about landmarks to make sure that they understand what they are, where they're going. Travel training is just not for, I would say, with people with disabilities, but anybody who want to learn the area. We have people that's new to the community that wants to learn how to ride the bus, and we want to be available for them.
And would you say youths are a good target that you're aiming for?
Absolutely. We travel train with the school system. We travel train youth in general. We elderly, seniors. We're out at the senior centers. We're out at the DD fairs. We're out at senior residences. We're all over the community teaching people how to ride the fixed routed buses. And one of the benefits, as you can see for the next slide, that you gain with travel training is you get a chance to get out in the community. You get a chance to learn the areas. You're not set to a specific day or time, if you're using less limited services, but you're able to just get out and travel in the community and learn the area which we live in. I think it's a wonderful service, and
Yeah.
I think
And people
appreciate
can
it.
just call into our customer service line and inquire about travel training. And we
Yeah.
can connect them with Annie. I'm from Routed Customer Service, so we do send people over there often, which is just such a really useful tool to have for the community.
It is.
All right. Are we doing
So
access?
do you mind if there's two questions to chat
Sure,
about travel training?
Absolutely.
So we need to ask, is there a waiting list for the training?
There's not a waiting list, per se. There's not a waiting list.
And is it a long-term program or based upon grants?
It's not based upon any grants. It's a part of the KISSF Transit. So, I would say long-term is in no danger of going away, but,
How long have you been the travel?
I've been
trainer?
doing travel training since 2009.
So yeah, long term.
So it's been here a while.
Yeah.
I have to say, you're opening my eyes. I did not know this existed. I work for the Bremerton Housing Authority. I know Leif's here as well, and just connecting our communities, but not having to be the experts is an amazing customer service you're offering. And recently, my son, he's in the high school and he doesn't have access to a school bus because he lives too close, but still too far to really walk. And so ended up, we ended up teaching him how to use the bus, but he ended up learning on his own. But what a great opportunity to
Yes.
really make it comfortable for those who don't drive, to like you said, experience our community, to have access to something that otherwise is a really confusing system sometimes. So thank you
Yeah, it
for
can be very daunting, I think,
Mhm.
for especially the bigger demographics are youth and elderly folks. And I think it can be very daunting for both of those groups. And so, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. This gives them the opportunity to go out and navigate in the community on their own, right? And what I love about our bus system is they meet up. So at the transfer points, you are going to meet up with at least 2 to 4 buses at any given time. And so there are buses that circle the whole area. So you're in no danger of getting lost. But one of the things we teach you is what to do if you get lost.
Of course,
right?
yes.
So that's all incorporated in that training. And so I think it's a wonderful thing for youth. We youth now ride KISSUP Transit for free, which is a huge thing that I'm so glad to see us doing, that other communities were already doing. So, I mean, to get them out on those buses, I often say I'd rather see them on the bus than in the car. So I think it's a wonderful thing to have youth back on the bus and to teach them how to properly ride the buses is a great thing.
Well, and just to feel like, wow, I know something. Now I can build on that foundation and I could try a little bit more. But, there's a little fear sometimes, standing at the wrong side of the bus stop or not getting on the right bus. But are you allowed to even ask questions? Like, of course you are. But sometimes it doesn't feel like that. It feels like you should know already, because other people already know. But Juanita has another question in the chat, and it says, "Are there employment opportunities available as a travel trainer?"
So travel training is not my main job. So that we have not hired just for travel trainers since I have been here. So it's an off shot of what I already do. And what I already do happen to sort of partner travel training. It mirrors travel training. So that's
a good segue into your talking about access.
Yes, it is. It is. So what I do for access, thank you. What I do for access is I do mobility assessments. And part of that mobility assessment is to verify that someone is eligible for access. And part of that is travel training. So that's why I do it. And so then if they are not qualified, if they are not able to travel train, then more than likely they're going to be eligible for access services. And Access is a service that Kitsap Transit also provides for people who are unable to use the fixed routed services. And it's an application process. You fill out the application and eligibility gets it, and they are either able to determine whether you're eligible or they send you to me to do an assessment. And that way we can determine if you're eligible and if so, the level of eligibility you're going to receive. So some of that level might including you to riding the fixed routed buses.
And they can call into Access or routed customer service, and we can mail them a application, or let me share my screen again and show you where it can be found online. So if you go to kitsaptransit.com, you'll go to ride and then access. You'll select access again. And this has all of the links, including what is required for eligibility for access. It has this whole application. It's like, what, 7 pages, 6 pages?
6 pages.
It has a lot of information, and then that can be printed out, and then it has to be faxed or mailed in. That's all on the first page of where that needs to be at. But this is something we do mail to people often from even routed customer service. People call in and ask for that often.
Absolutely.
So it's full of really good information too. But any other questions about?
Oh, there is other questions. Do you want to move on to the part of your presentation, come back to questions, or do you want to continue answering questions?
Let's answer a couple questions.
Another, Amy, actually Jessica. Do travel trainers have training for working with individuals with mental health barriers?
Absolutely. One of the things we do, I attend as much training as I possibly can get to learn how to navigate the community with people with different types, all types of disabilities, not just mental health, but all types of disabilities. So yes, to answer that question, we have.
And if you have a client who has a disability, Amy asks, let's say they are wheelchair bound, and in your training you find they cannot get to their bus stop because of the condition of the sidewalk, does Kitsap Transit communicate this to Public Works or the relevant agency?
That is a good question. When I find out there's areas where there's a problem navigating for my clients, I'm always letting my management team know, and then they address it with the, whoever the people are that they address it with. But I try to make sure we let them know. Of course, we have no power over getting it fixed, but I definitely try to make sure people are aware.
Well, that's an amazing service, and we're glad you are that outlet to be able to share that with upper management, because it does affect a transit, right? So
Yes, definitely.
no more questions in the chat right now, so you can probably move on to the second part of your presentation.
Okay, so I am going to talk about how to navigate our website and a little bit about our routes and Orca. So basically any information you would need on how to get around is just at your fingertips if you are able to get to our websites. Most of the information for routed is going to be under ride and routed buses. And this has our service system map, which shows our big, let me get this down. This shows all of our routes. It's very small. But if you select a specific route, let's say we want to take the 217, which is one of our big main routes, it'll take you to the 217's page, and it'll give you that specific route just for that route where it starts at this transit center, and then it has all the other transit centers as well. That is helpful. And it also has the schedule. It'll have up here our regular routed schedule for regular Monday through Friday is going to be the first one that you see, but it does have emergency snow route schedules, holiday schedules, all of that information. And that's going to be the same for pretty much every routed bus. And then also another helpful thing, if someone comes to your organization and you don't have any schedule booklets to hand them and they don't have access online, but you do, these are downloadable PDF schedules that are exactly like our printed schedules that we have at like the ferry terminal and different transit centers that could be printed, or you could just print one page for them. They have all of our information on them. They're really, really super helpful. But they also have the route schedule and the route map as well, which is a really good tool. You can always order schedule booklets from us too, but this is nice to have as an option for printing off for people. Then I think the most important thing you guys are going to want to learn is how to ride with Orca. And that's under Learn and Ride with Orca. And this has all the information on how to obtain youth passes, which we can't require, but we highly, highly, highly recommend that youths get youth Orca cards because it's easier for us to track how many youths are riding our services. They can use a school ID, but they can go online. They do have to, this has all that information, shows where to go, which is myorca.com. And then this is where you can buy an adult card, a senior card, youth is free. There is documents that you have to upload in order to qualify. I don't even know what the document is. You must upload a student ID, state ID, or a birth certificate. Same things that we require in person to get a youth card. This also is a good segue into our RFP cards, which are reduced fare cards for senior, disabled. We also have low income cards that we make for people. Those seniors, just proof of age as well, just a regular state ID. Let me go back. There is a reduced fare portal, which would have information on how you can qualify for reduced fare. Reduced fare for Kitsap Transit is 50% of the cost. So buses, instead of $2 a ride, would be $1. Ferries are our Port Orchard Foot Ferry and Annapolis Ferry are part of our bus system. So they're $2 normally, $1 with reduced rate. And then fast ferries would be $12 round trip normally, $6 reduced rate as well. Let's see. This has how you would obtain a RFP Orca card, which is the blue or the green and white ones, which is senior or disabled. And then the low income one is a little bit different. It's our regular black card, but it has a 1-year expiration date on the back of it. Those you do have to load to use them, and they do require a little bit more paperwork to qualify. They need to have some award letter from SSI, DSHS, proof of state medical assistance, which is not just the card, it has to be the actual benefit award letter stating their name and that it's currently active. Same with the food assistance, you have to have the award letter. Or they can do 3 months worth of their pay stubs. There's lots of ways to obtain it. There is different forms here because there is an application that they have to fill out for that can be printed out and handed to them and explained a little bit more. It's a lot of information for people to process, I think, but we're always a call away, or they can come down to the ferry terminal and talk to us about it. Does anyone have any questions about any of the Orca?
And the Orca pass goes to Seattle too. Like, can you explain how Kitsap Transit works with Orca a little bit? Because you have an app, but it's not the Orca pass.
Yes, so Orca cards work in, I should have brought a pamphlet. They work for like King County Metro, Sound Transit, Pierce Transit, Kitsap Transit. The disabled or senior ones get them a different rate as well on most of those transit agencies. The low income one does not work for all transit agencies. I believe it's county specific for us. It doesn't work for Washington State Ferries to give them reduced rate. But yeah, it's a card that they would get, a physical card that they would get, and they would either load e-purse value, which is like any value from $1 up to $400. And that if they tap it, they're just taking money off of it like a debit card. Or you can purchase a monthly pass. Those range from $25 for Kitsap County buses, which would include the foot ferry, not the fast ferry to Seattle, just the foot ferry to Port Orchard. There's also fast ferry passes. There's a myriad of different passes that they can do. So it just depends on their need, kind of what they're using it for. And shelters or different agencies do sometimes provide them with vouchers. I'm not super clear on how they would get those vouchers, but we do get them from like Catholic Community Services and stuff, where they pay for a month pass for Kitsap Transit buses. So yeah, there's two options. The ePerse side is less common. I think more people opt for the monthly pass because it gives them unlimited rides for the whole month for a base fee, which is very convenient.
Thank you. Yeah, it's there's just a lot of opportunities to travel, and the more comfortable we get with that and what that looks like, because like you mentioned, you have an app that you could follow, and you're trying to, increase adoption on the app, watching your routes or whatnot. But
Mhm.
is that connected to your Orca card at all?
So currently the app that Annie was talking about
Mhm.
is called Double Map, and it's just tracking the buses, the bus
Okay.
system. So routed buses are tracked on there. So you'll see a little bubble with the bus number and its route of which it's traveling and which direction it's going. And it does say like different time points. It has the schedules on there. But there is an app for My Orca card. It's called My Orca, and they can choose if they would like to have a digital card only instead of a physical card and use that to scan, which would work if they're like bad at keeping their card, they lose it all the time. That might be a good option for them to just be able to scan their phone through the My Orca app, which doesn't connect directly to Double Map, but it is an option where they can check their balance, they can reload, they can see their history of where they were at and what they were charged. So yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that there's a lot of apps, there's a lot of ways to get around, but those two seem to be the need of Kitsap County. So
Yes, yes. And again, this is a lot of information to digest for a lot of people, especially people who do need like a low income card. This might be very confusing if you just hand them this information,
Mhm.
but we're happy to have them come down and talk to us, and we can educate them, or they can call in and we can educate them on what paperwork they need to bring and exactly what information they need to bring in. I think a lot of them that we see now are pretty trained on what exactly works for them, what doesn't. They always need to have ID with them so we can match it up to their paperwork. But yeah, that's pretty much basically what I do every single day. Give route information. This also, under ride, there is information about access, dial a ride, which is on, like, we have dial a ride at BI Ride, on Bainbridge Island, Kingston Ride, and South Kitsap Ride. And then this also has information like our ferry schedules and all of that stuff too. So there's plenty of information on our website, and I think it's fairly easy to navigate. Yeah.
it's just nice to know that you have a phone number to call to, and
Yeah.
sometimes we don't know the questions to ask, so we don't know where to go on the
Yeah.
website, right? And so
Yeah.
even I like the idea of like getting on the phone with you and you're talking about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, and this is also on the website and this is where you can find it. Again, I appreciate that as well. Another question about travel training. Do you provide travel training for healthcare workers who sometimes provide assistance to those who are commuting? So it sounds like more like a train the trainer type of.
Right, right. And we
Yes.
do the trainer. We do it with our paraeducator. We train anybody that wants to ride or want to teach someone else to ride.
Mhm.
So yes, most definitely we would come out and teach you how to do it. And then if you want to train someone else, definitely.
That's awesome. It's a great question. No more
Mhm.
questions in the chat. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Any other tips or tricks?
For riding the bus.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I, like I say, travel training is free. We do individual training and group training. I've trained families, to ride. Definitely do outreaches. So we'll go out and we'll, communicate travel training, access service, and routed services, the whole 9 yards for outreaches. So we're available for that as well.
It sounds like you're talking to the right group then. Thank you so much for sharing. If anybody else has questions, do you mind putting your information in the chat or maybe the customer service number or whatnot to
Yeah,
be able to reach you?
happy to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're welcome.
you.
And I am going to, I think we've talked about now the county. So I'm going to move on to, I think I'll talk about Project Connect and the new resource guide on our website. And while I'm doing that, if any of the agencies have any updates to share, you can put it in the chat, you can raise your hand, and then after I finish my updates, we'll call on you to share. And so here, I'm going to share our website because recently we came out with a new updated resource guide. I put it out in the newsletter a couple times already, but I'm happy to share. And again, thank you to Kitsap Community Resources for taking on this very big but very important task to update our low income and homeless resource guide. So let me get to the website. Okay, so this is our website, kitsapHHC.org. I always like to share that. Again, it's just important to know where we can find information, and we try to keep this up to date with anything that comes out in the newsletter. Our newsletter is the best way to keep up to date with information. So I'll show you where to sign up for that after we go over the resource guide. So the resource guide is on our main page. Important resources. We provide an updated meal guide. Thank you to Eric Harold and the Salvation Army for keeping that up to date. And we also have this resource guide. And before fall, it hadn't been updated since January 2023, but that is not how we want to move forward with our resource guide. So it's important that we keep this up to date, and Allie can speak to it too. This is now, instead of a 2-page front and back where it's a booklet format, it's actually 4 pages now because there's just so much information, but we still want it to be easy to print and hand out. From the Bremerton Housing Authority perspective, this is so important because there's a lot of individuals who need housing assistance or other types of assistance. And sometimes, I mean, our wait list is closed and we need a resource to hand out to really guide everyone to the right place. So this resource guide has everything categorized in the different resources, but we want to make sure it's printable. So unlike what you might find on the online, um, and it's just an online web page, this one's printable. So we encourage everyone to get on our website, print it out. Black and white is fine, it still works. And youth services, legal assistance. Again, the front page starts with homeless support services, what to do if you're experiencing homelessness. Housing Solutions Center is our coordinated entry point, but they have 3 locations. And so again, this is really one of our main initiatives at Kitsap Housing and Homeless Coalition, and that we want you to share it. So,
Right, real quick, Katie, I just wanted to do an update
yes.
about, so we've already gotten a few. I think there was somebody that we accidentally missed with all of our updates. And we've already gotten some new, like, hey, add this to the resource guide and hey, add this to the resource guide. We didn't miss anybody on purpose. It is a big task, so we're only going to be doing it once a quarter. So the new one, we're hoping to publish one more come January 2025. And so please keep sending your information, but just know that it won't be updated until the quarter goes. So
Thank you, Allie. And I did want to note, that's why it hadn't been updated. It is a big task because we want it to stay current, but it's a lot of information, and um, it can be really helpful, but you know, it's going to be a group effort. I think all of the membership that, you know, and membership is very flexible, where if you're on our mailing list and you get a draft coming through, please comment, please read through it, you know, find a spelling error, let us know. Like it's a group effort. And I think any help to know that we have the right resources and the right information is going to make this so much more valuable. But know it is here, and know that we're actively working on it. And thank you again to KCR, the Housing Solutions team, for taking on this really big job. So, any questions, Carrot?
I don't have a question. I have a brief announcement if now's the time for that.
Oh, okay. I will get to one more update and then we'll get to
Sure
the
thing.
announcements. Perfect. So as I talked about, kitsapphhc.org is our website. On our website, you can sign up for our mailing list. So if you go into the middle of the page, it'll say mailing list, sign up. We use MailChimp. So it's just, again, a short form to sign up for our mailing list. We have almost 500 on our mailing list right now. We also, every email we've sent is also in our archive. And I talk about this a lot, but it's a nice reminder that if like you think you're on the mailing list, but you don't know, you can go to this archive and see that you got the last one. I try to send at least 2 a month, but it just depends how much information we have to share. But know that I could send more if we have more information we want to put out. So this is a great opportunity to reach other service providers. Again, this campaign is organized by date. A lot of this might not be relevant, but as you can see, it's just an archive. So you can see if you're on the mailing list, or you could bookmark this link if you prefer. Again, to get to this link, it's mailing list or archived information. So last thing I want to talk about is Project Connect. So our Project Connect planning committee is working to organize all the Project Connect fair information. So right now, this web page has the most current information and it will continue to be updated. Just a reminder, it's at the top of our page. If you click Project Connect, you'll get to this Google website. So we're trying to keep everything in one place. So if you have any questions, please head to that link. We recently confirmed our new location in Silverdale, and all of these Project Connect fairs are opportunities for service providers to connect with our communities and really for our community to access services, not just information. We really want to hone in on having an opportunity in January to come down and maybe get an ID, or learn more about SNAP, or even Housing Solutions Center having a big presence there. There's a lot of opportunities to learn all in this one place, and we do it 3 days and 4 hours a day in 3 different locations. So we don't have a vendor form out yet, but I've already got lots of interest. So if you are interested in being a vendor, I will reach out to you. Just let me know, and then I'll send an email out when the form is ready. But because we have limited space at each of these locations for resources, for just tables in general, because we get a lot of interest from our partners to join. We want to really prioritize, is there space enough for haircuts, vaccines, the driver's license, the DOL will be there. And so we're just trying to make sure we have enough space for the services. But I do hear eyeglasses are back in Bremerton. So on the 29th, there will be opportunities to have eye appointments and vouchers for eyeglasses. So that's always very popular, but that takes up a lot of space, right? So we have less space for like information vendors. So just keep that in mind. A lot of sharing tables, but we're really flexible. But again, we're just finalizing that vendor form now, trying to book some of these services first. And lots of great sponsors. Thank you to New Life. They're our newest in Silverdale, and so we're still working on all the logistics. But thank you again, everyone, for just keeping up to date. We have a flyer now if you want to share it. All you have to go to the link, click on the flyer, and it takes you to that PDF. So this website is the most current information we have. And again, if you have any questions, or even like these are the participating vendors of last year, if you have any questions about who will be there, or how to advertise, or my plan is to get some of the postcards and flyers printed to have here at Bremerton Housing Authority if you would like to pick up. KCR is helping with outreach as well. There's a great planning team that's part of this, and it's a really important initiative that's in coordination with the point in time count in January. So again, questions, admin@kitsapphhc.org. And again, look for that vendor form to go out via email. So, any questions? Oh, Thank you. And Garrett has an update.
Thanks. I thought you had said to raise your hand if you had an update.
I know, and
so-
I was just looking, I was doing, and I was going through the process, and I did say that, and then I was like,
Okay.
oh, somebody has their hand up.
That's cool. I just didn't want to interrupt. Thanks. I just here to let everybody know that for our 2024 comprehensive plan update for the city of Bremerton, we're in the middle of our draft environmental impact statement comment period. So if you have opinions on transportation, housing, anything in the city, see something, say something, now is the ideal time to share you or your organization's opinions. I'm putting into the chat relevant information that you might need to go to our website. If anyone has any comments, my contact information is also available. We have a lot of information on the city webpage as far as just, even just videos of particular city council meetings on housing, land use, and on other topics, if that's an easier way to digest the information. So if you go to that Bremerton2044.com, our DEIS is there. Those individual videos are also there. And the comment period ends December 2nd.
Thank you, Garrett. And thank you for always reminding us there's opportunities to have this bigger impact by just commenting. So it just takes a little bit of effort to just do that. So thank you. We really need those reminders. Any other updates? It's a quiet group today. Great information. I'm hopeful that everybody got something out of it today. No updates, no agency updates. We don't have a meeting in December. So if there's any news or want to share anything, now's the time. And again, email us. We can get your flyers out. It's around Christmas time. There's a lot of resources right now. So if you want to share something with our membership, we can put that in the newsletter. So, okay, well, if I have no other updates, have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season, everyone. And let me know if you need anything. Thank you.